Who are these people?
$50. Here we go. I found a $50 in a dresser drawer, and I spent the time I would have spent just staring at the floor, staring down at JFK, trying to imagine the immoral sort of irony that makes a nation feign commemoration of a man that it had murdered by the CIA, trying to envision us if we possessed the health care he had talked about in '58. I guess the takeaway is it's a piece of fucking cake to celebrate somebody's bravery once you've assured they're safely in the grave. And I bet if Pat Tillman were alive today that he would say the same. I'm sure we're in for more if we let Julian decay. I bet that they would put him on a quarter. I bet that they would name conference rooms in his honor at the IMF, the New York Times, the FBI, and Citibank. I guess the takeaway is it's a no-risk softball pitch to uplift somebody's image once their image is the one thing that remains. And the worst is when it's coming from a figurehead who's funding every agency that authored the remains and working with the agency that doctored the remains, the agency that obfuscates the facts and spins a constant storm of shifting blame. I guess the takeaway is that America will sing your praises loud as day to celebrate the fact you and the threat you posed have passed away. Shit, they'll throw you a parade, and business just as usual will live another day, and all of the insurance gods will bathe in all the praise and make donations rain, and all their winged, wicked little lobbyists will blow their horns and light the flames. Their ceremony starts, and they in single column march up to the weathered onyx arch and sand the marker down that bears your name. So you no longer are and never were until your hideous rebirth within the corporate frame. Until you're back from the dead and then bound for all eternity in propaganda's chains. It's the very ritual that whittled down the legacy of Martin Luther King into a parable on unity for liberals to claim. And then once they learned it worked, the world would never be the same. And now it's getting worse. I guess they're dialing in their aim. History is a straight line, but so's a moving train, which is heavily dependent on our infrastructure grade. We are building back better in a nation built on slaves, so you can guess the ultimate direction that our pathway to the future paves. They don't want you living, or they'd offer you a living wage. They don't want you feeding any homeless. It's just best to leave them freezing in the alleyway. They don't want you speaking words of hope unto the hopeless, or they'll do you up like JFK. I found a $50 in my dresser, and I spent the rest of my whole day depressed because this constant drop in pressure means that you can catch the bends from simply sitting up in bed awake. It looks like 2022 is really not the year for you to have your lives improved. I guess you'll have to wait. But not to fret, election season's just around the bend. Why don't you go ahead and save the date? So you can throw yourself before the magistrate and beg to have your family saved. You don't know the people you elect to lead you more than what their ad portrays. You can't tell their offerings of saccharin and arsenic from ordinary aspartame. And you can't really comprehend the kind of greed this country feeds upon until you're Jackie-O, wearing close to half a brain. And probably the half that would have seen us passing M4A. All to keep the pieces in their places in this never-ending profit game. All to weave a tapestry of ampersands. Each allows a claim adjuster room to just dismiss you with a callous hand like fuck you and your meds. Fuck you for requesting a procedure that you need so you can stand. Fuck you and your family and your poor demands. So welcome to the land where we'll assassinate a man and then put him on a $50 stadium or stamp and proclaim ourselves the greatest country ever master planned. Killing off its citizens, enriching all its brands. That's $50.
Who are these people?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. This is Redpilled. liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines. I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. My favorite songs don't hit the same way, 'cause I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? So I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter. The tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters. Every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. Nice tight shot of the Camry. Close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who's up in the front with a tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. It's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats. I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines. Couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. And I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. Ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastening. See, maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at a nationwide human catastrophe and only offer platitudes and recipes. And God, I wish that I could tell myself nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. Wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny. I wish I had some better lessons for how best to answer questions for the things I've been perpetually questioning. But I'm too busy looking at our leaders, wondering what I might be missing from their messaging. I'm trying to find the reasoning to let 250,000 people meet an early reckoning. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Hope is ever dwindling, COVID ever beckoning. Winter slows your breathing, but your pulse is ever quickening. Even though I know the truth, it's hard to keep listening. I'm done with my epiphany, my innocence is blistering. I'd like to think I'd taste the earth before I'd ever kiss the ring. Hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening. Sometimes I think I miss being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines. Couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. And that's Redpilled.
Who are these people?
It's Conviction, Winter in Belmarsh. If you thought you saw your freedom, it was truly a mirage. Freedom's locked a cell away from Julian Assange. Our First Amendment rights are by his side, behind bars. And the next voices silenced will be ours. Rest assured, democracy is rotting in the dark. Rest assured, we vilified dissenters, pushed out black renters, and tore down their housing just to build a little urban park. God, I tell you, old America really knows how to leave its mark, how to blaze a trail and leave 100 scars. Rip your free speech out your throat, demonize the man who told you it was so, and leave him freezing in a cell in Belmarsh, perpetually awaiting extradition, thrown to the wolves of claustrophobia and malnutrition. And all that we can hope is that we catch Uncle Joe in a fleeting, lucid moment of his flickering, senile fascist mission. That maybe we could trick him into thinking Julian is just a sweet, blonde, middle school Christian, and she got mixed up with a few bad apples, slapped with some charges, and thrown into prison. Joe would set him free without a moment's hesitation under one condition: that he could sniff her hair before she goes back to school and he goes back to business. But if Joe's just had his shots, then we haven't got a chance of getting past his black and white vision, getting past his gut reaction to appease all of his donors' sick requests and shape policy and law around corporate mandated decisions. So really, all along, I think Julian was one man standing in a tempest with the fearlessness of true conviction. And if his is the only conviction we see after he shed a light on this country's most poisonous schemes all come to fruition, and we all collectively stare at the ground because we felt like our hands were too tied beyond signing petitions, while he's tortured to death for attempting to warn and enlighten admittedly not quite the brightest of citizens. And half of this country just won't take the time to uncover the truth, or they just don't mind, so they're quick to dismiss it and say it's a difficult position. Well, then we're back to the comfort of centrist delusion, right back to sleep for the ignorant sheep who resisted themselves into one protracted contusion, twisting themselves into knots to correct all your stimulus check-based confusion, wrapping their necks round their backs as they justify overflow migrant detention or fracking pollution. Then Kamala laughs, and the camera pans down to her shoes. And that footage is 90% of your 6 o'clock news, except for a feel-good story about a man who, at 95 years young, just made Employee of the Month at Whole Foods. And the $50 gift card means this month he'll afford his prescriptions and meals, and he won't have to choose. This is the machine that a man named Julian Assange threw his body on the gears of for you. So to cry out for his freedom is the least that we can do. Now, best believe the feds will serve to muddy up the truth, but rest assured the temperature in Belmarsh is an icy 22, and that Julian is shivering in a solitary room without a view. Rest assured Obama loves a whistleblower just about as much as he loves weddings where he doesn't get to detonate the groom. Rest assured Obama bought the plot where all our First Amendment rights are gonna rot, and demanded that they carve his smiling likeness on the tomb. So when you come to pay respect to your free speech rights and a somber feeling hits you and you look up to the sky, the answer will be staring you right in the eye to the questions of why and of who. So if you thought you saw your freedom, then they wanted you to. Human rights are mutable, and Julian is proof. Our First Amendment rights are stuck in solitary too. And the next voice silent might be you. That's conviction.
Who are these people?
It keeps on spewing. And I think it's very telling that the best of your excuses when you try to come and justify our president's abuses is a hearty "but Trump." In which case, I'll remind you that you never saw the news attempt to sell you Donald Trump like he was morally upstanding or a decent human. But when Joe says something bigoted or ogles someone's little kid, CNN says, "Isn't this refreshing? Biden's like a mix of JFK and FDR with all the finer parts of Harry Truman." And Christ, I know they don't think we're the brightest, but at least pretend we've got a couple lumens. Ask yourself if you have ever questioned what they fed you, or do you just shut your eyes and then consume it? Now ask yourself if you ate every one of Biden's lies under the guise of harm reduction and the promise of a slight improvement. And now imagine long ago that Biden chose to show you who he really was by traumatizing you for his amusement. Now imagine that you watched him touch a Bible with those filthy hands and then assume the power of the highest seat in all the land, knowing your attacker wields a global coalition born of 3-letter agencies who will make a life's mission out of trying to discredit you through lies, damned lies, and collusion. Big tech is never gonna separate from our surveillance state. Fuck's sakes, they're just a breath away from total fusion. So there will come a time where even if you see the light, your voice will never reach the sky through all the bots and all the noise pollution. So trust us when we tell you that the masking of abuses is perhaps this country's oldest institution. And I know nothing nobler than facing it in honor of the truth when you know damn well that those in power have been neutralizing truth since there was wet ink on the Constitution. So know that Tara's truth is something crucial to the movement. And if you see yourself a partner to the revolution, help this country see through all the baseless propaganda, through the crux of Joe's illusions, and recognize that Tara Reade gave everything she had so she could tell us what the truth is. Recognize the decent thing to do when someone bares their soul and shows their bruises. It's not to ask for context or to offer up your own solutions. Your job is just to listen with an honest mind and put yourself on Tara's side a moment so you understand the path she chooses. That there is no instant fame worth the dragging of your name. And if that's what you think, then you've a lot to learn about the kind of facts the mob can handle and the kind that it refuses. You've a lot to learn about the news and all its many uses. I guess you've yet to learn the truth the news will serve is fruit from which they've squeezed out all the juices, and we all eat the husks and just pretend it's full of nutrients and isn't really useless. But the jaws of our ability to yield accountability are absolutely toothless. So don't you kid yourself that any lips are being loosened. They won't ever tell us where the bodies are or show us where the proof is. It's on you to recognize the lechery our president so regularly oozes. It's on you to muster up some honesty and ask yourself how Biden won your trust, but it's America that loses. Open up your eyes and learn to recognize the bruises. Open up your eyes and learn to recognize the bruises. And that's read between the lines.
are these people?
This is called Consider It a Win. Our hope is growing hollow, and our patience wearing thin. The sun is being swallowed by a dusk that grows within. The heavy slab is sliding shut, soon light won't filter in. So if you choose to be the torch, consider it a win. Before they censor every thought through sensors in your skin. Before they start the fire, though they'll never mention flint. Before our hell is frozen and the ice as thick as sin. If you have heart to bear the torch, consider it a win. If you had voice to protest but were drowned out by the din, and you should choose to rise above as embers on the wind, go smear the court with soot and carry ash on swirling limb. Go fill the lungs of bastards that they know the smell of him. Burn bright and be the beacon that will light us home again. Should you so choose to be the torch, consider that a win. Let's consider it a win.
Who are these people?
Animators gets Militia Intent.
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. Why play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead? Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. Why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen?
What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me. I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory and leave them there. And Hillary, I'll see you there. Nah, Hillary, I'll see you there.
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. No, why play civil when you wouldn't listen to 100,000 dead? And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. So why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen?
Welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. And welcome to the last of the free speech while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats and second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust, there's just moral justice after that. And I would hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. Just so I could rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. I could sleep fine when our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. Cause as long as I can lay my head down, I can live with that. I can deal with a little ash. Cause I could feel like a little of the old me burned with the bad and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back.
Well, those days are behind us. The virus will kill all of that. Your wealth is behind us, and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. They feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion, and people in need are all it will have. Our only chance is to starve it and watch as it turns on them. Can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands.
Who are these people?
That'd have been good too.
Hoped you would never find. I know that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind, I'm trying to tell you so. I tried to block the light. I know you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands. I'm trying to keep you close. Trying to keep you close. I really want to set you free, but I really want to let you be. Part of me wished I could set myself aside and just let you take the ride, just chalk the rest up to destiny. I could let you believe that the only restraints in life are the size of your dreams. Let you believe each kid grows up with the world at their feet. When I know too well that it's open season, I know they're taking stock and raising stocks and raising stock. I'm simply not here to sit and watch as you learn the lesson all cogs are taught. Keep your head down and keep to task and just keep on blocking the rest of it all out. Just keep on with the rest of the herd of a million adjacent oblivious workers. All the forest unseen for the trees, and the trees unseen for the fallout. Now what's more damning, baby, the truth or the ignorance? Fuck it, I honestly wonder if I see the answer so well. Baby, believe me well, I know it's scary, I scare myself. If I could find a way out of my head, I would run like hell. I would ditch this body politic mindless occupant somewhere far from the dismal abyss. In the tranquil crystalline bliss of the beach, I could rest with the rest of the shells. And then if anyone asks, I'm anywhere else. If I'm really needed, just light the candle, then read the book, and then ring the bell. Oh, my untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your worth, then demand 1,000-fold. It's full of greedy pigs who'll eat you out of house and home. They'll strip your bank accounts and sweep you somewhere down the road, and then return to eat your tent and shitty bike you rode. Your bottled water, only shoes and coat and broken phone. Then smiling in your face, they'll tell you that the shelter's closed. Hoped you would never find out. Knew that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind out, trying to tell you so. I tried to block the light out, knew you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands out, trying to keep you close, trying to keep you. untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your earth, then demand 1,000-fold. I tried to block the light just so I could keep you close.
Who are these people?
This is the first piece I wrote about East Palestine. I think just maybe 2 or 3 days after the fact. This is called Supersite, Children of the Fuselage. 100,000 pounds of vinyl chloride burned into the air and in the water with your fluoride. Today we'll demonstrate the role that profit plays in cost-benefit analysis to find the worth of your lives. Mind you, we'll be grading on a curve that traces dead fish on the shoreline. Today, the town of East Palestine will know the skies of wartime, wear the shoes of Palestine, and know the smell of war crimes. Their pets and livestock will be corpses for the war shrine. This is how you sanction all your farmland in the Fourth Reich. I'm honestly surprised that Pete addressed it in a fortnight. Praised the first responders, but ignored the looming morgue line. Like focus on the cavalry, ignore that every horse died. Never mind there's not a single cricket, bird, or horsefly. It's just triclops in the triage tent who expedite the foreride. Norfolk taking pages out the Northwoods, north side. Add a dash of NORAD, plant a row of soil mines, give them lots of black skies and water bright with oil shine, and you can propagate the kind of crop that Gates will normalize. So save your time and give up ever going back to normal life. Norfolk cut its cost, and now this nation pays the morbid price. Norfolk weighed the loss as purely human, so they rolled the dice, knowing Biden had their backs when workers tried to unionize, knowing all their lobbyists are sure they won't be scrutinized, and knowing that the tiny little fine they might be hit with is a part of doing business when your business is to euthanize. To salt the earth, liquidate the brutalized, drench the plains in acid rain, and blame it all on rural minds. Tell them that's just what they get for voting red, and old Team Blue will fall in step and shake their heads and disconnect from humankind. They're never looking up, their fingers point to you and I. Thanks to years of being trained to frame the little guy. They've seen the film enough to tell you where the blame should lie. The poorest family's EBT card was the mastermind. Those little houses won't concern the liberal passerby. They had their dose of NPR. The passive voice will cast aside your raspy breath and swollen eyes, your burning cough that won't subside, your cat that didn't last the night, that pall of death, that blackened sky, that harvest faced in 10 years' time that reaps the waste of wealthy crimes, a 1,000,000-gallon deep decline through supersites and party lines, through hurried graves and leaded pipes, past poisoned slaves and slaughtered tribes, past forgotten treaties that we authored, then we compromised, past our moral fabric, ever brittle, gray, and fossilized, and past the mass of plastic trash that's just this side of ossified. And if you find one root that thrives, the living proof of fruitful vines, just hold it close. Take in the sight. Don't plant some host for parasites who in the name of corporate gains see all that murder justified. We're such a waste of insect paste and so much cheaper crucified. We're children of the fuselage, ghosts of all the food deprived, echoes of the working class whose crystal knock was supersized. Out in Ohio, birds are drowning where they stand. Their eyes reflect a world event that devastates the land. And it's a tale of regulations disemboweled by profit's hand, and their viscera that soaks like so much chloride in the sand. And that's Supersite.
Who are these people?
This is called How to Boycott History. I'm ready when you are.
Here we go. I got this up here. Jesse reading.
History will wither. How unbearable the heat, and how desolate the winters when our history repeats. Our story turns to splinters, and our memory, once a feast, is more bloodless yet than ever, twice reheated, once deceased. How teachable a moment that will infinitely loop. It is not 2024, it's 1942. And if you oppose the Holocaust, then you must hate the Jews. And if you don't want those children dead, just what is wrong with you? Did you not see their proof of guilt displayed on nightly news? The very news that sold you on the need for World War II. The very news convincing you that you must be confused, that those kids were fucking guilty. That is makeup, not a bruise. That's not real baby's blood. Hamas just painted each one red. Then they posed them with an actor screaming like their child's dead, and they filmed them in the rubble, a convincing looking set. But the news says those are plastic limbs, the sound effect of jets. Those were mannequins devoured by emaciated pets. Those were dolls those women held whose brains were spilling down their chests, because this couldn't be reality. This has to be a test, right? Such is the extent they'll go to trick the mighty West, right? That, or you were taught dehumanizing by the best, right? Taught that yours were freedoms that are dreamed of by the rest, right? How to boycott history, cognitively divest, and separate from fact, applauding sanctions on the press. But aren't we more than... I almost called us cattle. But we're not that conscious yet. For if half a herd is slaughtered, other cattle feel their stress. They can recognize a slaughterhouse. An instinct takes effect. They can heed a glaring warning. They'll protect the one that's next. If only we had so much grace. If we had half their strength. If all our frayed attention spans could reach their former length, and we could finally see the slaughterhouse, our instincts felt the threat. But we're just not that developed. We're not that conscious yet. And that is how to boycott history.
Yeah.
Just realized I said
Yeah.
World War II and not Gulf War II. So pretend I said Gulf War II.
Yes, we caught that, but that's okay.
Give myself a solid A- on that one.
You were
God damn
humming.
it.
You were humming. Ghost Start says my timeline is a death.
Who are these people?
This is American tradition. Although he's not the slickest vulture to have ever picked a carcass, he's just the kind to catch us at our darkest for an easy harvest. Just the kind to serve us to the markets, who would see you lose your home before his donors let him bargain, who will give a cop the go-ahead to shoot you in the leg before they let you harm a target. And being an American, I love watching garbage, but it's overload. And this is not my first rodeo. I don't drop mics, but I choke slam podiums. And so we go. A little bit of Troy, a little Roanoke. Karma, come and hold me close. Tell me how you told me so. I'm overboard. I'm blowing out. I'm Holy Ghost in stolen shroud. Soaked in old petroleum and calling down the rolling clouds. Slowly moved my mouth and formed the only sound I knew, and it was always out of tune, but it's the ugly fucking truth, and now it's flowing out. Break the banks, flood the basin. I transcribed a translation, spoken out a Morse code, and straightened to capsaicin. And fuck, I hope it suits your station, cause it's my last release that won't require proof of vaccination. I got all my rates adjusted for infection and inflation, bloating and decay, and all the perks of radiation. We see the virus for the profits, not the patients. Honey, look at all the records set for all these corporations. When COVID started spreading, they were just this side of celebration. They got one record quarter in the bag, and now they're all impatient. They'd rather have a toe to tag than see a mouth to feed, or worse, a kid in need of education. And honey, only money's making that distinction. They're gonna thin the herd straight through starvation to the brink of our extinction. Capitalism favors innovation and is never at a loss for ways to make us hate our liberation, cloud our vision. Somewhere in America, a man with no money in the bank is on his way to City Hall to go complain about proposals for a soup kitchen. And he'll never see the tiny bit of irony that floats in all the tragedy of his position. And he's not the only one. It's an American tradition. And so it goes, in endless perpetuity. We've never deviated from the mission. I set out the ritual. I listened from the sand, held my head between my hands, and muttered, dying would be easy. Life's an everyday decision. And I'm not the only one. It's an American tradition.
It's an American tradition.
I bet you thought that Trump would go to jail and Joe would listen. Well, you're not the only one. It's an American tradition.
It's a great American tradition.
That's how you wrap an episode.
I had to, man. I had to.
I love it.
Oh,
Who are these people?
This is called A Stroll Through the Ruins.
Let's take a walk, provided radiation's low and the weather's good. We'll take a stroll through where there used to be a neighborhood. I host a clinic called The Final Points of Settlerhood. Wish I could say it brings a crowd. Oh, baby, down doomsday went about as well as you said it would. And God, I tried to love the bomb and I never could. There's such a heavy bomb and the humid air of rotted wood. Wish I could clear the smoke and show you down. The meek will get the earth, though the earth will be long dead. The meek will gladly take what we can get. And when we meet the earth, if there's no earth to be found, well, we'll just join the poison in the ground. Oh, 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 the poison in the ground. The poison in the ground. Oh, the poison in the ground. Oh, the poison in the ground. Oh,
Oh, God, I love playing those.
Who are these people?
This is called Modern Style. Actually, let's move that up a touch. Let's go right there.
where's that new modern style? Where's that new beat? They promised something wild, then gassed us in our sleep. We woke up underground and forced to work the mines, and only have these tired songs to last us for a time. We had a stack of wax and some of it was fine, and a player in the break room where we went to flush our eyes. It lasted all of 7 months, and when it finally died, the only source of music was your dusty, empty mind. And I said, oh my God, I don't miss the light. Oh my God, I don't miss the sunshine, my sweet God. But I miss all the songs that used to make me feel alive. Some of us disappeared down deeper in the mine. One came back, I guess the rest were just not meant to find. We stopped him screaming and we held him as he cried. I saw what's out the hatch and we're all better off inside. And I said, oh my God, I don't miss the light. Oh my God, I don't miss the sunshine, my sweet God. But I miss all the songs that used to make me feel alive. Oh my God, I don't miss the light. No, I never miss the sunshine, my sweet God. But I miss all the songs that used to make me feel alive. That's modern.
Who are these people?
This is called Margo.
La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da Well, my neck was a little straighter, 7 years without a screen, wandering the wastes in case I'd end up someplace green. I'd been pushing my luck up like daisies, chasing my fate, crawling through the aqueducts or cutting through the gates. Now Margo showed herself as though an angel from above. She offered me a hand on which she wore a heavy glove. And all of my survival skills I picked up at her side. For bless her heart, she kept me like a helpless child bride. But when we reached the checkpoint, they asked to show her palms. She opened up a guard and she was gone. 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 So I stumbled through the sand to try and see her face again. I tracked her town to town along a trail of broken men. When I found her with a body, she had killed a man for gloves. She handed me some water and I drank it down like drugs. But when we reached the platform and they asked to scan her hands, she tore the guard to shreds and she ran. She ran. Well, I caught up with her quickly, but I'm stuck with what I saw. The blood that ran across the sand was pooling off her claws. She didn't know I had seen her hands, and I won't leave my love. So I let her keep her secrets, and I keep her stocked with gloves. My huntress stalks these sheep that walk beneath the starless skies. My Margo has the kind of touch that flays a man alive.
I like that little one.
Okay, and this is definitely the most, like, I don't know, just white bread kind of 50s of the bunch that I love this. This is called Back the Other Way.
She said it was fine back the other way. I wish I could have stayed behind, but maybe it was time for our luck to change, and I might have to wait a while. She said, travel is difficult, you can't go home. And trust me, you don't really wanna go. But meantime, I had the feeling I'd have sold my soul just for one more minute there alone. To think I'd walk out the door and see the grass still grows. Walk into the stream and feel the flow. But somehow I had the feeling I just can't go home. La 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 la. She said it was fine back the other way. I wish I could have stayed behind. But maybe it was time for our luck to change, and I might have to wait a while. She said, travel is difficult, you can't go home. And trust me, you don't really wanna go. But meantime, I had the feeling I'd have sold my soul just for one more minute there alone. To think I'd walk out the door and see the grass still grows. Walk into the stream and feel the flow. But somehow I had the feeling I just can't go home. La 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 la. I had the feeling I just can't go home. La 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 la. I had the feeling I just can't go home.
We just got like a mini album concert front to back. That was the Geiger Age, beginning to end.
There's one more.
Oh, we got one more.
There's one
Okay,
more.
even better.
Which I feel like you've heard this song before. If not, then I apologize. Oh shit.
Right, we're up to 4. Right, this is the 5th.
All right, this is the least doo-woppy. Originally, this was gonna be a little bit more kind of modern styles vibe, but this, when I first thought of this, doing this a little bit more rockabilly Sturgill Simpson, I couldn't say no to that. So this is the title track, the Geiger Age. There we go.
It's the Tiger Diddle Niger Steiger track. Yep, the Geiger Age.
Till it was gone, locked out by the smog, and if the smog ain't moving on, that sun is gone. My eyes have seen the glories of industrial disease. My mama raised me telling tales about the trees, cause they were gone. Yeah, for all my mama knew the trees were gone. They're rusted inside out, and there's no soil fit to sprout. Those trees are gone. She had an optimistic streak, or maybe she was scared. But bless her soul, my mama said the ocean would be spared, and now it's gone. By the time I reached the shore, it all was gone. I'm glad she didn't live to see the day that she was wrong. 'Cause when I reached the ocean, it was gone, gone, gone.
And there you have it, folks.
Who are these people?
Cool.
She said it was fine back the other way. I wish I could have stayed behind, but maybe it was time for our luck to change. I might have to stay a while. She said, travel is difficult, you can't go home. Trust me, you don't really wanna go. But meantime, I had the feeling I'd have sold my soul just for one more minute there alone. To think I'd walk out the door and see the grass still grows, walk into the stream and feel the flow. And somehow I had the feeling I just can't go home. La, 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 la. She said it was fine back the other way. I wish I could have stayed behind, but maybe it was time for our luck to change, and I might have to wait a while. She said, travel is difficult, you can't go home. And trust me, you don't really want to go. But somehow I had the feeling I'd have sold my soul just for one more minute there alone. To think I'd walk out the door and see the grass still grows, walk into the stream and feel the flow. Meantime, I had the feeling I just can't go home. La, la, la. I had the feeling I just can't go home. La, 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 la. I had the feeling I just can't go home.
And that was back the other way. I was waiting for you, and I wasn't getting it. I'm just like, he's taking a swing, and I'm like, is he gonna? Because you didn't say in the beginning, and I'm like, which one is? Oh, okay, it's back the other way, right?
Who are these people?
Geiger Age.
I'm a child of the Geiger Age, I'm not the only way. My mama raised me on for stories about the sun, cause it was gone. Far as she could tell, it was gone. Locked out by the smog, and if the smog ain't moving on, that sun is gone. My eyes have seen the glory of industrial disease. My mama raised me telling tales about the trees, cause they were gone. But my mama knew the trees were gone. They roasted inside out and ain't no soul fit to sprout. Those trees are gone. Now she had an optimistic streak, or maybe she was scared. But bless her soul, my mama said the ocean would be spared, and now it's gone. By the time I reached the shore, it all was gone. I'm glad she didn't live to see the day that she was wrong. But when I reached the ocean, it was gone, gone, gone.
That's the Geiger Age.